Come on over, it's time for Tim Friend.
Hey, welcome back to Tim Friend. Oh man, it feels like I've finally pushed the boulder almost to the top of the hill. But it was fun pushing this boulder up here because this game is good. But this is gonna be the last recording session of Fire Emblem 7X, at least for a while. But without further ado, we'll have further ado at the end, because there's still gonna be a lot of episodes in this session. I'm gonna do a little bit of a double session, so by the end of it, I might be nice and dead. All right, I don't think we got into the story of the chapter, so we'll do that.
Lycian bannermen from across the land gather as one, and together they charge the assembled forces of Solomon's army. The shock of 1,000 tons of steel and horse flesh meeting rings out over the valley, but is soon drowned out by the screams of the dead and the dying.
Damn. All right.
The outlaws are ill-equipped and undisciplined, so to prevent the conflict from being drawn out, Sir Carlton opts for a swift assault. Yet against all expectations, the Lycian column is broken and scattered throughout the ranges,
Through the hills and through the mountains.
Now Uther must rally what remains of the first Lycian cavalry before his captured friends come to harm.
We gotta save our captured friends. Our friend dad.
You prove a hard man to find, Mr. Heels. Hiding from the law, are we? Is that not what this is about?
Oh man, I really gave these two the same voice, haven't I?
In a way. However, my master offers not punishment, but redemption. What say you? Would you like to meet him? And why not? This might make for an interesting diversion.
Oh man, this Richard man is going to die.
Such a dark past, conspiracy, treason, a great many counts of fraud. Tell me, Heels, how do you justify these things?
I do not, Your Grace. Yes, I viewed my actions as necessary to achieve my goals, but I was under no delusion that they were anything but evil.
We are of a like mind, it seems. What were these goals, Heels? They must have been ambitious to require such drastic measures.
I only wanted what every man desires, Your Grace. Freedom. The freedom to live how I choose, where I choose, to have no man above me bending me to his will, to follow no rules but my own. It seemed obvious to me. That kind of freedom only belongs to those with power. Absolute power. And now? Now I know better. The men at the top, they have rules of a different nature. Responsibility, honor, things that bind them to the will of everyone below. The kind of freedom I dreamed about. It comes only in death, I think.
You are not the man I was expecting, Richard the Liar.
Don't be so sure, Your Grace.
That's why Richard does the things that he does.
This is everything I have found so far. We have agents monitoring the situation, but we are now beyond the point of spying and guessing. It is time to act.
Your Grace, this is...
Indeed, I did not believe it at first either. Yet Lionel was so certain.
Lionel, the guy who had the crazy face and Solomon said betrayed him. Whoa, intrigue, drama, Game of Thrones.
Eventually I came to see the truth. King Damien has gone mad like his grandfather before him.
King Damien of Bern.
If he is not stopped, he will unleash this weapon of his on any who refuse to bend the knee and accept him as their god. We have tried to make contact with the Lycians, but they are apparently preoccupied with some internal matter.
What? What internal matter are we preoccupied with?
We will have to deal with it ourselves.
Maybe Lionel somehow faked the Lycians' communication to force Solomon to do his stupid shit that he's doing.
I agree, but what can be done? The operation is of such massive scale, there is no way to bring it down with sabotage and bribery. It would take a full-scale invasion.
Remember what we discussed when we met.
Man, I can't wait till these characters die so I don't have to talk like this anymore.
Some goals are important enough that you must use great evils to achieve them. And perhaps through such a thing, a man like yourself might find redemption, for who else could bring themselves to do it? Certainly not the likes of Lionel or Pellinor or any of the other pious bootlicks that fill the ranks of the Royal Etrurian offices. No, it must be men like you and I, men with the darkness in them, men with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Do you not agree?
Redemption, then? And perhaps glory.
In this life or the next.
Please. Okay, Richard's dead. I don't have to do that voice anymore.
Good riddance to bad rubbish. Enough. You go check on the prisoners. I will see how the new lads are integrating.
They sprint into the castle.
I wonder what you were so afraid of, to have needed this many monsters. Whatever it is, I have no desire to face it. Perhaps that makes me a coward. Goodbye, Richard. I learned much from you, in the end. Oh. Say hello to Sir Horace for me.
Damn. What a hard case. I don't know. I supremely doubt that was that guy's voice, but that's his voice now. Hasar.
Yes. What do you need?
Just a moment of your time.
Very well. Is something the matter?
Well, I do have something on my mind, but I don't know that I would say it troubles me.
Please, speak it. You know I do not like talking in circles.
Hasar, I have been working up to this for some time, and I would appreciate it if you would grant me a little patience.
Of course. I apologize, Madeline.
It is no secret that I have grown fond of you over the course of our travels.
And I you.
Hasar! As I was saying, I have,
You love me.
Yes, I was getting to that, but by the cruel hand of fate, my heritage...
Come to Sasay with me.
What?
So long as you can bear me child, my people will accept you as their own.
But I thought, after your mother...
The decision to leave was mine. It was an accident, one that others had made before me. I was the last of my clan to come to terms with her death, and now I have a good reason to return.
Oh, Hasar.
If you do not wish to, I will gladly remain in Caelan. Even if your father will not accept me, I will be content to merely be near you.
Don't be ridiculous. To the underworld with my father, I accept. Oh, I'll need a new dress, and grumpy old Walnut will be so glad to be free in the fields with the other horses. Won't you, dearest? Then there's the ceremony. Will I need to memorize new vows?
Oh, they're gonna get married.
It's cute. I like it. I like them. I like their dynamic a lot, if that hasn't been clear. All right, let's get some supports. Looks like almost everybody can support with somebody, and that's good. We'll do Chester and Abelia, because we know we're using thems. God, I don't remember their voices at all. It took me a time, but I realized what it was you were saying. Oh? It was bringing up your parents that did it. I remember that there was a resident potter at the castle, and indeed, Eustace was his name. Aye, and his wife was a painter. He would craft fine urns and vases, and she would decorate them, and together they were much beloved by my mother. She often invited the potter's wife to her garden parties, who would always bring her son, a gangly boy with a shrill voice who fought with all his might to be the center of attention, but never had anything to say when he won it. Not the most flattering depiction, but aye, that was me. You had lighter hair back then, almost blonde. And your nose didn't quite fit your face. In what way? His nose seems of normal size. It took me some time to grow into it. He's got a fine nose compared to some Fire Emblem folks. All this time we were childhood friends. And you knew? I thought you did too. I kept making jokes about Crooked Pete, the guard with the peg leg, and how the castle dog chewed on it when he slept at his post. You would just give me a queer look, then continue working, so I thought you were just being your usual broody self. Oh, gods. I thought you'd been talking to my mother in an effort to woo me. So when you wrote the song about that night the castle was taken over by rats... That was a personal account, yes. Believe me, as bad as it was up in the Lord's chambers, it was 100 times worse down in the cellars. That couplet about how I dropped my sock and watched it drift down the hallway as though in a stream. Oh, ew. This is so strange. We were friends for years before I was sent to the monastery. When I came back, it must have been like picking up where we left off for you. Not really. You were changed by it.
You might have thought I was a different person, but you really were a different person. You were seething with anger all the time. You were curt with everybody you spoke to. Trying to reconnect with you was emotionally exhausting. But I'm beginning to see more of the old you every day. You smile more easily, even if doing so makes you look weary. Heck, sometimes you even make jokes. Yet the only time I see the spark of life in you that wants to find you is when you're riding down an enemy. Lady Abelia. Oh no, Abelia's got some problems in her brain. That's okay, we all got problems. We want Magnus and Sybil, Eerie and Leonard. Perfect. I haven't been able to stop thinking about your earlier claim, mistress. I was on my home turf. I had vetted and tested all of my informants. I'd been using an expensive disguise. By all rights, I should have had the better of you in that situation. And then I remembered the Magic Bureau has access to means which I do not. Indeed, the use of scrying and precognition opens up vast new dimensions for intelligence agents. Precognition? Truly? Well, it is very expensive, and its accuracy is questionable, but yes. Visions of the future are sought by a small division of our agents, both through direct means and by seeking others who have them. I imagine you turn up a lot of raving drunks that way. You would be right, but every now and then some milkmaid has a true psychic vision, and hearing it has allowed us to save lives. Fascinating. I've heard the Western tribe's so-called Council of Seers deploys such magics, but had dismissed it as myth. We were of the same mind. Until recently, that is. Do tell. But what sort of rival would I be then? I must keep some small advantage over you, good master. All the magic in the world won't give me an edge if I let you win me over with your considerable charms. Touché. Oh. I didn't know they mentioned the Council of Seers for the Western Isles before it, did this support exist before the Tristan chapters? That'd be interesting. Sybil and Augustus? What the flip-florin' filth? Hasar's already done. Isadora, we need to have Abelia. Wallace, no. I mean, okay. We're trying to get Sybil Magnus. We can't do Sybil Hasar. We're not doing Sybil Tony, so there's no point in us not doing Sybil Augustus. Let's give it a shot. Look at this mess. Moisture-sensitive stocks stored with potions and oils. Bow munitions stored with javelins. Blades stored up high. Really now? Is he trying to create a death trap? And then they disappeared. Excuse me, miss. What do you think you are doing? Saving someone's life, I'll wager. Or are you thinking putting edged weapons up here like this? What would you rather, that I place them by the entrance where any wandering vagrant might take them up against us? You shouldn't be letting wandering vagrants anywhere near the stocks. That's why you were posted here, not so you could rearrange our equipment to your pleasure. Fine, but hear me out. If you bind the blades together into bundles of 6 or so, like this, and stack them at an alternating orientation, like so, they form a solid block, you see? If you bind each bundle with linen to prevent any damage, you can use a regular crate or barrel of sufficient size and leave a single unbound bundle on top for immediate use. This way, the racks are free to store lances, half-talent bolts, axle shafts, and other such things that would not be fatal if dropped on your head. I will admit there is sense to your method, but I do not appreciate you meddling without my consent. Were we to urgently need a blade right now, I would have lost much time trying to find where you'd moved them. Fair enough. I apologize. Good. Now if you would kindly, not so fast, we must still address the liquid storage. And what exactly is wrong with my liquid storage? Hello? Have you ever heard of mold? Oh. She just does a logistics thing because she's an alien mercenary. She knows about that shit. Alright. Wow, that whole episode was supports. It's fine with me, though. I hope it was fine with you. Next time on Tim Friend, we'll get into training, and then maybe some more supports. I don't know. Alright, bye everybody. We're Tim Friend.